The most common mental illness in the U.S., anxiety disorder, is so prevalent these days, especially in the U.S., that there's no point in denying it anymore. According to one estimate, over 33% of people will experience some type of anxiety disorder in their lifetime. Just as common are the drugs like beta blockers or benzodiazepines, which are usually the go-to option for anxiety treatment. These drugs do seem to work in most situations, but the sheer number of unwanted side effects make them less than an ideal option. That's where herbal remedies can come to the rescue. In this video, we're going to look at the 6 most effective herbal remedies for the treatment of anxiety disorders. Significance of herbal remedies for treatment of anxiety. Anxiety is not the same for every person. There are many different types of anxiety disorders that affect different classes of the population. These include generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, panic disorders, specific phobias, and post-traumatic stress syndrome. Whatever the type of anxiety disorder may be, usually there are only 2 options for treatment: therapy and medication. While therapy can be extremely beneficial, it doesn't always work. The second option is the anti-anxiety drugs like beta blockers or benzodiazepines, that although have a much larger sphere of influence, are not free from unwanted side effects. But luckily there's a third option as well, and that is using herbal remedies to treat anxiety disorders. Herbs have traditionally been used to deal with stress, anxiety, depression, and mood disorders in many cultures around the world, and it is only now that science has started acknowledging the beneficial effects of these herbal remedies. Ancient systems of medicine like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine rely solely on natural means of treatment, comprising different therapies and herbal remedies. Many of the techniques of these systems have found their way into the conventional Western practices under the banner of complementary medicine, and more people are inclining toward them with every passing year. A word of caution here before we jump right into our list. While these herbs can surely help alleviate symptoms of anxiety, it is important to first consult your doctor before starting any herbal supplementation, as some herbs can interact with other medications and cause side effects. With that out of the picture, let's look at the 6 most effective herbal remedies for the treatment of anxiety disorders. Number 1. Ashwagandha. The use of ashwagandha, or more formally Withania somnifera, as a treatment for anxiety is as old as history itself. It is one of the most important herbs in the ancient Ayurvedic system of medicine that has its roots in Indian culture. It belongs to a group of herbs called adaptogens that, as the name suggests, help you adapt to stressful situations by regulating the body's stress response. What makes this herb so effective against anxiety is the triad of anti-stress, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant properties that act in unison to ensure that anxiety is no longer a concern for you. Though many studies and clinical trials have been done on the efficacy of ashwagandha, which has found its way into different health journals, one particular clinical trial is worth mentioning here. In this clinical trial, published in 2019, 60 participants with mild anxiety were administered 250 milligrams of either ashwagandha or a placebo. The result was that those who were given ashwagandha observed a reduction in some measures of anxiety. Similarly, a review study in 2014 looked at the results of 5 human trials that investigated the effectiveness of ashwagandha in relieving anxiety and stress. It was observed that 4 of the 5 trials had reported decreased measures of anxiety in participants who supplemented with ashwagandha. This is great and all, but how should you go about using ashwagandha? I'm sure that even if the herb has many benefits, stuffing your mouth full of ashwagandha would not solve anything. Well, lucky for us, there is a recommended dosage of ashwagandha that experts around the world agree on. Experts believe that 300 milligrams of the herb per day should be enough to keep your anxiety problems at bay. However, since this is a relatively new era of research with a limited number of studies, it is recommended to first run it by a professional doctor before starting on ashwagandha supplementation. Number 2. Chamomile. Chamomile is yet another anxiety-curbing herb that is also an excellent caffeine-free substitute for tea. Its appearance is so similar to a daisy that you'd be forgiven for mistaking one for the other. However, unlike daisy, chamomile isn't just all about looks, but rather contains many beneficial compounds that have stress and anxiety-relieving properties. The validation for these anxiety-relieving properties comes from a trial conducted in 2017. Where the participants were given 1,500 milligrams of pharmaceutical-grade chamomile every day for 8 weeks. The result of the supplementation was a significant decrease in anxiety scores, accompanied by a subsequent increase in the total well-being of individuals. Even if you're not a big fan of tea, you can always opt for chamomile extracts, tablets, or even skin cream to reap its benefits. As for the quantity, 1,500 milligrams of chamomile extract per day should be sufficient to experience its beneficial effects. Number 3. Valerian Root. Another famous herb that is often taken in tea form is valerian. What makes this herb so special is its sedative properties, which can help in relieving anxiety and promote a relaxing effect. As for the studies on valerian's effectiveness in relieving anxiety, only a handful could be said to be quality ones. One such study that got published in 2019 looked into the impact of valerian root extract on functional brain activity. After supplementation with valerian or placebo 3 times a day for 4 weeks, it was found through EEG scans that the group that took valerian experienced changes in parts of the brain that are connected to stress and anxiety. Due to the limited number of quality studies, the National Center of Complementary and Integrative Health, NCCIH, has refused to acknowledge valerian as a herb that could alleviate anxiety or depression. However, since valerian is generally safe to use, there isn't much harm in trying it out, unless you're a pregnant woman, a nursing mother, or a child under 3 years of age. As for the dosage, generally 100 milligrams of valerian extract per day is considered sufficient enough to observe noticeable changes in brain chemistry. Number 4. Kava. Hailing from the Pacific Islands, kava is a herb with amazing anxiety-relieving compounds that is traditionally used in ceremonial beverages to relieve stress and alleviate the mood. The widespread fame of kava among the masses has attracted the attention of researchers around the world, and many studies have already been done to look at the acclaimed benefits of this herb. One such study tried to investigate the effectiveness of kava as a treatment of generalized anxiety disorder, where the participants were either given 120 milligrams or 240 milligrams of kava per day, while the others were administered a placebo instead for 6 weeks straight. The result was that the participants that received kava experienced a significant anxiety reduction, as compared to the placebo group. It should be noted here that the FDA has issued a warning in 2002 that taking supplements containing kava could result in severe liver injury. Though the World Health Organization later declared the link between kava and liver toxicity to be unclear, it is still advisable to consult your doctor before starting kava supplementation. As for the recommended dosage, you should be aiming at somewhere around 120 to 280 milligrams of kava a day, which has been shown to have maximum impact. Number 5. Lemon Balm. Accompanied by a mild lemon aroma, lemon balm is an excellent herbal remedy for anxiety, depression, and mood disorders. But what makes this herb so special is its ability to also improve cognition along with anxiety alleviation. Studies explore these beneficial effects of lemon balm, having long been under discussion. One such study aimed at uncovering the effectiveness of lemon balm and lavender in alleviating anxiety. Half of the participants were administered either of the 2 herbs every night for 4 weeks, while the other half were given a placebo instead. As a result, a significant decrease in anxiety and depression was observed among the people who used lemon balm and lavender. Speaking of lavender, it deserves a separate mention on our list due to its wide range of active compounds, which makes it a great option for alleviating anxiety. But before that, you might be wondering how much lemon balm will do the trick for your anxiety issues. Well, 1,000 milligrams of lemon balm a day is generally recommended for obtaining the best results when it comes to combating anxiety. Number 6. Lavender. Now comes a herb that has found much of its fame thanks to its powerful aroma that can help calm the nerves and also alleviate anxiety. Lavender has many active compounds like terpenes that can have a calming effect on chemical receptors in the brain and thus improve anxiety symptoms. The most comprehensive account of the anxiety-relieving properties of lavender can be found in a 2019 review study that analyzed over 100 studies on this subject. Most of the studies were found to be in favor of lavender administration for anxiety, where oral lavender supplementation and lavender aromatherapy were found to be the most promising methods of administration. However, the review concluded with a word of caution that less biased and larger clinical trials were still needed to cement the position of lavender as a probable anxiety treatment. Finally, the optimum dosage of lavender seems to be between 80 to 160 milligrams per day, but more research is needed to arrive at a single answer. Finally, to summarize, anxiety is one of the most common mental disorders in the U.S. There are many different types of anxiety disorders that affect different classes of the population. These include general anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, panic disorders, specific phobias, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Therapies and medication are the 2 most popular options of treatment for these disorders. While therapies do work for some people, most people remain unaffected. Medication, on the other hand, does seem to work for most people, but the sheer number of side effects that accompany them make them less than an ideal option for treatment. This is where herbal remedies can come to the rescue. Not only do these herbs work, but they are also generally safe to use. The 6 most effective herbs for the treatment of anxiety disorders include Ashwagandha, Chamomile, Valerian Root, Kava, Lemon Balm, and Lavender. With that, we come to the end of our video. We hope that you benefited from this video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family. Want to see more videos like this one? Please subscribe to our channel, Welcome to Wellness, and press that bell icon as well, so you never miss another video. We'll see you in another healthy video. Until then, take care.